very long. And it was automatically known that Museveni would take the lead, unless otherwise, because the democracy of Uganda is just something, maybe just a meter away from Tanzanian election, and maybe some miles away from Kenyan process. Unfortunately, even in Kenya, it's not easy to actually think that somebody can come in and just take over from president, the incumbent president. And as we were doing a lot of analysis last week, of course, Bobi Wine had a lot of people, crowds standing and supporting him. But what I saw throughout, Museveni was trying to frustrate him all along. Now, it's very funny that yesterday Museveni came up to say that even in the former elections, that the opposition, I don't know, tried to rig and they got 2.7. He kept changing the statistics anyway. I want us to just go through a very quick analysis. I saw some reaction on it.
Every day, people
but we'll keep talking about this topic. So interesting, right?
Ugandan authorities.
So, of course, there was the internet shut down ahead of elections. It even affected the election itself, with Bobi Wine himself not vote. Yeah. So let's just look at this.
Uganda is in a complete internet shutdown, with its people voting for the next president in the haze. There's a sense of inevitability over who will win, as the country's ruler of 40 years bids for another fund. But young people are rallying opposition. The musician turned politician Bobi Wine, channeling his onstage charisma to garner political support.
The regime is scared about us. We are the real opposition. And the regime knows that they are losing. They are losing this election, so they are intending to rig it massively. The election is being rigged as we talk right now. The internet is off and the journalists are not allowed in some places.
And the power of the people comes with a cost.
Yeah.
Supporters are being targeted, arrested, beaten to death, shot in the head. What protection are you offering them? They come out and support you and they face the security apparatus in full force.
It is not me to offer protection. It is all of us as citizens. I'm only one Ugandan. I offer myself as a leader. A leader sees the way, goes the way, and shows the way. I saw that way, I went that way, and I'm showing it to the masses. Every struggle for freedom is not without a cost. Jail, beatings, death, and we are not oblivious of that.
One of Bobby's supporters was killed here 2 days ago, in his neighborhood polling station and stronghold. The security forces are fully deployed, and it's very unlikely that Bobi Wine will be declared the winner of this election. But in spite of that, people are here in the hundreds to see him vote for himself as president. This is the second time he runs for president. The last election that he says was rigged was Uganda's most violent to date.
Well, he can win, and of course I know he can win, but according to the system that the president is the one who makes everything. We just have to use our power, protect our vote, do anything, so that I know he's going to want to win.
All right, guys. So yesterday, a lot of people, young people, of course, turned out in numbers to go vote for Bobi Wine, the former musician, pop star that turned into a political aspirant who had for years looking for the presidential seat in Uganda. Of course, Uganda's elections were held with a lot of criticism from even the rallies and as people moved from one place to another, Mbarare among other places. And of course, from population, you could actually see a lot of support rallied around Bobi Wine. But elections is not just about numbers. It's about the weight. It's about the powers. It's about that system. Now, of course, I've heard somebody talking about President Museveni saying that he's the best for Uganda, that he has stirred a lot of change, that there is a lot of democracy in Uganda. It has registered the highest number of stations, and I found it very amazing. Maybe I should share that before we proceed to the rest of the video. And of course, it's a quick one because I have work to do by some other time. Let me just check on that. It was on Ikonini podcast. I don't know whether I'll find it. If I don't find it, then I'll be going to a different station to just share what they have out there. And of course, the person I saw sharing something here was Mordecai Morisa. Let's just check on it.
These flowers are called Wilma. Which one stands for William and Mary Martin? Ladies and gentlemen, these folks held a press conference to give you provisional results of 0.11% of the votes. Come on! You have over 20 million voters, and you're going to hold a press conference to tell us, oh, what are the provisional results from 23,845 votes? What are you doing? Okay, this is ridiculous. Very ridiculous.
Chagulanyi Center Robert, nope. 7,753 votes, representing 33.64% of the valid votes cast for the candidates. Mabilis Joseph, CP, votes 45.
Okay, guys, let me ask you, what was the sense of actually bringing out the results of 0.1 of votes cast? I found it very funny. But anyway, the military had to forcibly surround Bobby Wine's home, just like he did the other election time, that he had to have house arrest. And of course, there was mechanical failure of some machines during the voting process in Uganda, just making sure that the voting process was not smooth. Let's see some things before we come to the breaking news about the lead Museveni has taken of 61% as Bobby Wine takes 33.
An update. Very, very, very important update. Now, what is currently happening, His Excellency Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert has been cordoned off his house. In brief, he has been put under house arrest. His Excellency Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert has been put under house arrest just a few hours ago. Now, this is an update from the National Unity Platform. Let me actually even put the screen like this so that you can get to know the source of this information. This is the verified page of the National Unity Platform, a party His Excellency Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert leads. Now, 17 minutes ago, it posted and said the military and the police have surrounded the residence of President Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert, effectively placing him and his wife under house arrest. Security officers.
Now, of course, guys, these frustrations were expected. They were expected, and I don't just understand how ever Africa will have democracy, because we speak about democracy out there, but we don't practice it. The reality is what happened in Cameroon, what happened recently in Burkina Faso. We had an incident also in Tanzania. It's unfortunate because how do you talk about democracy when there is no democracy at all in these nations? There is no democracy, and you can see it clearly. Now let's come to the early leader. That Museveni has been offered 61%, while Bobby Wine is given 33%. Let's look at this.
At the center of intense political debate as presidential election results continue to emerge in real time, raising serious questions about transparency, power, and the future of democracy in the country.
Priva, what is the expected outcome of this election? Does Bobby Wine stand a chance to win in this election?
Well, to be very clear, Frederick, there's no expectations that are meant to be communicated to the public except via the Electoral Commission. So everything that is going to be declared, the results, the voter countdown that is already underway, all that is going to be communicated by the Electoral Commission. Anybody who does that is going to be in contravention of the law.
So, what does it mean? Do Ugandans, can they ask any question when everything has been counted? Can they ask a question? Is this legitimate? Can they say, kura imeibiwa?
Well, that's going to be difficult because, as you already know, on Tuesday
Yes.
at around 6 p.m., they did shut down the internet all over the country. And as such, it is very hard for us to get information from across the country. The feedback that we're getting is from, deploying our reporters across the country. So how people will react to the election, that remains to be watched. Again, the Electoral Commission was very clear. They're the only ones that can declare the results.
Thank you very much. Daktari, wakili, wakisema hivi inanikumbusha mwaka 1997 wakati Kivuitu alitangaza nani ameshinda uchaguzi na nchi ikatumbukia kwenye mapigano. Uganda wanasema Electoral Commission ikishatangaza ni hivyo, kila mtu anyamaza naende nyumbani.
Welcome to the African News Channel. Please remember to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates as this story continues to unfold. This election comes amid already heightened tensions after a senior presidential advisor to President Yoweri Museveni publicly stated, just a day before voting, that Museveni's victory was guaranteed. The same advisor went even further, suggesting that even after Museveni eventually leaves office, power would transition to his son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba. That statement alone triggered widespread debate among Ugandans, many of whom saw it as confirmation that the outcome of the election had already been decided before a single vote was cast.
Even we don't have money to remain at the polling station. You'll be there like a dormant people. Vote and go home. You will not count the votes. You will not see the votes you are going to count. Their machines are going to count the votes. So what are you going to keep keeping?
It's such a fuss, right? That in Uganda machines count votes and not, machines have to count votes, not the people. It's so funny, right? Because it's such a fuss to say that when we know very well that there are no machines that count votes, there are people who count votes. And of course, Kevin Gogo, hello, welcome. Rita Ray, what are you saying? That Kevin Kogo is idle? Maybe he's just trying to understand some things here and there, I don't know. But this is what went on after all this.
Money, even some old man. For us, we shall vote and remain and go to protect it. At the Tare Center, we shall only allow two people, the candidate and the other two people. Let us be out. So what are you going
Now, this guy talked about the candidate and two other people, and I was like, which candidate? Because when it came to election day, Bobi Wine was actually given house arrest. So if he's given house arrest, is he still a candidate or not? Because we actually count him as a candidate, major candidate from opposition, apart from Museveni. But it is what it is. That is the democracy Africa talks about.
doing? Don't expect, don't even think that we are will announce Bobi Wine. President Museveni who's on chair will still remain in chair. Never think on that day that Museveni will leave this power by voting. No. Don't waste our time. Just go and vote and count what you know.
Okay, so you count what you know, not what is cast. And that's why he's saying that you will not see the votes, you will not even know they are there. So what is this then, the election? Uganda should just remain as it is, waiting for the death of Museveni possibly and handing over to Muhoozi. That's actually what we are trying to see in Africa, because it seems that Uganda has declared Museveni is the only leader they see. And that even if there is an electoral process, it doesn't function. It is given rules by the sitting president, who is Museveni. All right. So, of course, all the time during the campaigns, when we watch the frustration through which Bobi Wine went through, being stopped at one point or another, I was like, what is this? Because why would they keep frustrating him if they know they have control over the election process? They should just wait and let the election process happen as a formality, and then they know what to do. However, I don't understand why Africa would be such a dictatorial land even after the colonialists left. It's like some people believe they're the best leaders and they're the ones to be there forever. Why would you want to be in a place forever, even when people feel frustrated, they're tired with you, and you just want to remain there because you think you are the engine. But the engine that is actually dragging some people into mud while others maybe are getting better, it doesn't just add up, because maybe today Ugandans will not speak, but what about tomorrow? Unfortunately, if in Uganda already they have had a situation where they have brainwashed people to believe that even when they vote, nothing is being won, then this is such a discerning point. So let's check at this one here.
Bassebo ne bannyabo wamu n'abagenda okuumira abo abeesimbyewo obululu nga batuuse akuuma ka biometric voter verification balina okuyisaamu abakulu bonna abagenda okukulira okulonda kabakakase nti bebbo nga bayisizaamu endagamuntu ne byonna ebibakwatako era bagenda okutandika nga akuuma kabayisizaamu nga bwe bamala okuyisaamu abagenda okukulira okulonda ne ba agenti baabo abeesimbyewo balina okuwaayo ebiwandiiko byabwe ne bayita mu BVVK. Kaakati ku buli polling station kwalina okubaako akatabo ng'era obululu bwonna okukubibwa nga balina n'akatabo kenyini okayisa mukuuma ako aka BVVK kakonfaminge nti akatabo kayingidde ate nga na buli kalulu kubanga babaka mu drills yakola yatugamba nti omuntu bw'anaatuuka ku polling station bajjamuwa obululu busatu, ak'obwa pulezidenti, akamemba wa paalamenti n'akawuman MP nga bwebadde bukubwa olunaku olwaleero.
Okay, so everybody might not be understanding the Luganda, but what this guy is actually saying is that the Electoral Commission of Uganda messed up everything. And of course, by making sure that the agents and all that were there were not really doing the oversight thing. And what happened is they actually had to make sure they are fitting the polls based on their desire to have Museveni take over. So it is clear that actually from the videos and what have you, and Baba Kama actually sharing the poorer situation of the Electoral Commission of Uganda with the biometric system or whatever it was could not help. But then people are asking, why would they just lament about it instead of correcting? Because what is the sense? Is lamentation going to help Uganda to save their situation? Not at all, because even if they are going to talk about it over centuries, it might not help at all. So we are checking into something else here before we can just come back to see this. But clearly you saw already the Electoral Commission offering updates at the same time, clearly showing that Bobi Wine was lacking behind with 1.3 million, while Museveni had 3.7 million. And that was expected, of course, whether it's correctly broadcasted or it is a manipulation, that was something that was expected. Because as you understand, Uganda doesn't have democracy, and as a single candidate does not have a way to protect their votes. They don't have, right? So let's see this.
Hey, are your cold emails landing in spam instead of inbox? Is your current SMTP server...
Good morning, Uganda. Good morning. Who is here in the Tare Center, the National Tare Center. Good morning to all Ugandans that are watching this occasion, this function, live from the National Tare Center for Presidential Elections of 2026, here at the EC ground, the Electoral Commission grounds in Rubowa, with in Makinde Sabagabo. Lord Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, the Deputy Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, members of the Commission, the Acting Secretary, representatives of presidential candidates in this presidential election, representatives of political parties, heads of delegations of missions that are observing this election, members of the civil society that are accredited at this National Tally Center, observers, both local and domestic and international, members of the press, staff of the commission, and everybody that is watching, good morning and welcome to today. We are here at the National Tally Center for the presidential elections of 2026, and we are now in the hands of the commission, and I will take this pleasure to welcome you all and to hand over to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon, to take us forward in today's program. Lord Chair, you're welcome.
Thank you, members of the Commission, Your Excellencies, High Commissioners present, and heads of missions, representatives of political parties, stroke presidential candidates, our distinguished guests, international, local observers, media, and all invited guests. Good morning. We are gathered here today to once again update you and the nation at large on the results of the presidential elections that we have received so far at this tally center. The total number of registered voters on the National Voters Register is 21,649,067. Total number of polling stations, 50,739. The total number of stations from which we have received results so far is 22,758, representing 44.85% of the total number of polling stations. These are the results so far per candidate. Bulira Frank Kavinga, 23,267, representing 0.45% of the valid votes cast. Kasivante Robert, 15,929, representing 0.31% of the total votes cast. Jagulanyi Centum Robert, 1,312,047, represent 1,312,047,000, representing 19.85% of the total votes cast. Maviris Joseph, 10,910, representing 0.21% of the total votes cast. Mugisha Gregory Muntu Oyera, 29,504, representing 0.57% of the total votes cast, total valid votes cast. 14,742, representing 0.28% of the valid votes cast. Nandara Mafabi James Nathan, 108,301, representing 2.08% of the total votes cast. Yoweri Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, 3,960,438, representing 76.25% of the total valid votes cast. Valid votes in total so far 5,194,338. Invalid votes so far 129,441, representing 2.43% of the total votes cast. Total votes 5,323,779, representing 24.59% of the registered voters on the National Voters Register. Spoiled votes 17,281. That is the position currently. Now, as we indicated in our opening remarks yesterday, we shall be releasing these results at regular intervals. And therefore, our next session will be at 2 p.m. See you then.
All right, so that is the National Tally Center, Uganda. Somebody is asking me, are you a Ugandan, Zach? You want Ugandans alone to be interested in electoral process. I've followed closely the electoral process of Cameroon, Gabon, and so many other countries, even America, Jamaica. So if you always watch my channel, you would know that I do political analysis, not of Kenya, not of Tanzania alone. The other day I was following closely Tanzania, and then before that it was Cameroon, before that it was Gabon, before that it was so many other countries. So I am an African, and again I'm a human being in the world, so I go check on any election whatsoever I want, okay? Yeah, so I don't think I have to only follow what is my country's thing. I follow on anything that is going on, anything. Anything that is going on in the world, not just my country, but any other place, okay? Yeah. So I think we will be following up later again by 2. Currently, that is the result that we have found. So let me just go work on something else, then I'll be coming back later. Bye-bye for now.